Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Big Dave Show B105 virtual field trip number 6. I can't believe we've already done 6 of these things, but we sure have. And we want to thank right off the start our friends at Logan AC and Heating Services and Papa John's Cincinnati for sponsoring our fun. And boy, howdy, are we going to get you ready for Halloween today. We're going to take a trip to one of the top haunted house in Cincinnati, and one of the best ones in America we have right here, the Dent Schoolhouse. Our friend Bud is one of the owners, and he's going to take us over there in just a couple of minutes. And Chelsea, you're a big fan of horror movies and things of that nature. What did you feel about a little behind the scenes tour of Dent there that we went on?
I absolutely loved it. I was so excited. Halloween is my favorite holiday, and just going to the haunted house and seeing behind the scenes, it's really, really neat. You guys are going to love this.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. And like I said, Chelsea is the queen of Halloween. So you are no doubt a fan. Let's go over to our buddy Statman. Oh, look at that. Chelsea's got a little pumpkin right
by me.
Yeah, Statman. Oh, look, Stat's got pumpkins behind him too. How are you today, Stat?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh,
you guys hear me?
Yeah, he's got a ghost.
What? There's a ghost? Where? I don't see a ghost. Woohoo! That's about as scary as it's going to get today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Stat, you're a big fan of machines and working on cars, and you're always wanting to know more about how things work. And we're going to find out some of that today inside the Dent Schoolhouse, how some of the things that fly at you in there work and things of that nature. So we'll check in with you. And then one of the first things we're going to watch is our girl Ashley here, who still's got a little bit of orange makeup right there, I think, because Lauren, one of the professional makeup artists there at Dent, turned you into a jack-o'-lantern, and it's amazing. Did you, when you were getting it done, I know you could see yourself in the dressing room there at Dent, did you see it coming together? It took me a minute to see it, and then once I did, I was like, oh, I see what she's doing.
Well, I don't want to give it all away, but she puts the makeup on, and I just didn't know how it was going to turn out exactly. And let's just say she did a great job turning me into kind of a little scary pumpkin.
Nice job.
A little scary.
And you had to, and this is over a mask that you had on.
Yes, I almost just grabbed the mask right now, but I'll wait till the surprise.
All right, real quick, we haven't done this before, but let's bring in our main man, Bud here. Bud is one of the owners of the Dent Schoolhouse. Hey, Bud.
Hi.
So Bud's going to be along to answer questions after the field trip. So if you have them, please put them in the chat section. One more time, I just want to ask everybody, please mute your microphones so we can hear the field trip better, because if anybody's microphone is on besides mine, it's going to make the thing sound kind of hollow. Also, the chat section, please only use it for questions you might have that come up during the field trip and for afterwards, so Bud can answer them. Last week we had a lot of chatter going on in there, and we were unable to find a lot of the questions that people had proposed during the field trip. So please limit the chat room for only questions pertaining to the field trip. So if we're all ready, is everybody ready? Everybody wave the can. Are you guys ready to go to the Dent Schoolhouse? Let's go check it out. It's our Big Dave Show virtual field trip number 7. Let's do it. Hey, it's the Big Dave Show, and here we are for a virtual field trip number 6, and we're at the Dent Schoolhouse here on Harrison Avenue in Cincinnati, one of the nation's top haunted houses. And Ashley, today, she's already kind of a pumpkin, so we're going to have Lauren here, one of the professional makeup artists at Dent, make her into a jack-o'-lantern face, and we're going to get to watch a professional makeup artist do this. Lauren, how long have you been doing makeup?
I went to theater school, graduated in 2016.
Yay.
Woo! Yeah, so doing it a little bit since then. I've been here for 4 years.
Cool.
So yeah, I love it.
And what's the canvas like here? What can you do with this?
So much. Yeah, it'll be great. We're gonna do a spooky jack-o'-lantern face, and we're gonna paint over the mask. And I haven't tried that yet, but we're gonna see how it works today.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. This is gonna be a little makeup tutorial from Lauren on Ashley to start this field trip. Let's watch, and maybe we'll kind of poke around the place here a little bit too. Not get too scary, just show you some of the other things in here. Cool? Lauren, what is it that you're putting on her right now? What is that makeup called?
This is an aqua paint, Paradise Paints. They are water activated. So you put some water on your brush and it activates the paint. And as you can see, it goes on pretty quickly. And it's really nice. It stays on very nice, unless you get it wet again.
So you have to paint a lot of faces for an entire haunted house full of ghouls. How many faces do you think you have to do a night?
This year is weird. We don't have as many actors as we usually do. I would say I do probably like, maybe like 8 to 12, depending on what I get in a night. Some of those are just like doing black around their eyes though, because they have a full mask.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do Halloween makeup. Can you also do like glamorous bridal makeup and all that kind of stuff too?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of weddings.
So you do the full spectrum, huh?
Yeah, I try to.
What's your favorite thing to paint?
I really like doing like ghouls and zombies. Kind of the juicier and the gorier the better, but for our purposes today, we're not going to do that.
Be a cute little pumpkin.
Cute little pumpkin, yeah.
Oh, we want a scary pumpkin.
Oh,
Scary! Her face on the costume is cute.
Yeah, well, we need the opposite of that. We've got that there. We want
I'll
good
get some,
cop, bad cop from Lego. You know.
some angry eyebrows.
Have you done? You say you have not done this with a mask for somebody yet.
No, I haven't painted over the mask. I've done some like pre-paints with like some splatter and like blood drips and stuff like that, but I've never tried to paint like a face over one, so we'll see. You look like you got a bad spray tan right now.
You're a Cheeto.
Making me hungry.
What's the longest one, Lauren, that you have to do every night here at the Dent Schoolhouse? What's the one that takes the most time makeup-wise?
The ticket takers, just because they are so close to people, we want them to be pretty detailed and look really good, because they are in like pretty good, like bright lighting, and people are, you know, generally they have to get close to them and give them their ticket, so they need to be pretty detailed. So we usually spend the most time on them.
What's the longest amount of time somebody's had to sit and get their makeup done?
Here, like I've done like 40 minutes, 50 minutes.
Oof, I'm bad at sitting still. I'm doing really good right now. Just saying.
Since this is water-based paint, and you got your ticket takers outside, what happens when it rains?
We use grease paints for them. Yeah. Grease paints propel water pretty well.
I mean, you do all that hard work just to watch it wash away.
It happens sometimes anyway. Some of the actors sweat a lot, like immediately. So definitely powdering them really well is important.
So, as a makeup artist, in general, what's the best thing you use to take off makeup, to remove it?
We use baby wipes, and we use there's a remover called Super Solve that we soak some of them in, and it gets it off really well. So we give the actors one regular baby wipe and one Super Solve wipe at the end of the night to help get their makeup off.
So did this used to be a classroom, or has this been all remodeled since then? Or?
So it's been remodeled. Actually, the ceilings are higher, just like you'll see in the basement. But if I recall, at one point, this was actually the principal's office in the corner here. And so yeah, back in the day, they just used to be wide open floors, and then you would actually have classrooms in the corners and then the center. They used to use like old coal fires or and whatnot until things started evolving. So 1894 is when the schools opened up. It was half the size as well. And then through the evolution of like growth in student population, they added on to the building as well. So.
That's amazing work, Lauren.
Thank you.
Look at that. I mean, 2020 is what it is. If you have to wear a mask and be a pumpkin, Lauren is the lady to make it look right. Look at that. You've got the mouth.
I haven't had lunch yet.
I know.
It kind of does move when you talk. It's weird.
Oh, that is weird.
She is a real pumpkin eater. Yeah, that was great. I love it. Thank you, Lauren. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
So what do you say we take our pumpkin, get Stat and Chelsea, and take a tour of the schoolhouse? Does that sound good, Bud?
Let's do it.
All righty, let's go.
So, Bud, we're in the costume room. What all do we have going on here?
This is pretty much like the heart of the schoolhouse when it comes to characters. So we have all of our masks, all of our costumes. Each one of these bins has different items for our actors as well. So if you need to be a monster, this is the place you're gonna go to.
All right. And everything is fake,
Mm-hmm.
even the chains.
And the thing about the Dent Schoolhouse, it was an actual schoolhouse. See, I'm ringing the bell. Neat.
Wow. Come on, Chelsea, let's give that up. Look at that.
There you go.
So we're inside the Dent Schoolhouse now. And I guess, Bud, this is the classroom we're going to?
So everything's always, of course, kind of like falling apart, and we've got cobwebs, and this is all brand new for this year. So we've got over 50 school desks in the schoolhouse this year, all made of wood like they would have back in the day.
This is a lot better with the lights on.
It is. It's less spooky.
And even the cobwebs are fake, huh?
These are made out of what, Bud?
Yeah, it's all made of like hot glue.
Oh, really? I don't want to mess them up because obviously, but
You know, people are looking for desks right now. You could probably make some good money.
yeah.
We thought about making a Dent Schoolhouse desk for people.
All right, kids, what president is that up there? Or is that a president? I can't see, my glasses are steeping up.
No,
my gosh.
that is a principal or
That's the
somebody.
principal?
That is not Dwight D.
I
Eisenhower.
thought it was Eisenhower for a minute.
Should we do the nails on the chalkboard?
Eisenhower late to get out of here. This is scary.
This is a neat room because overhead at night you can see the track.
Uh-huh.
We actually have an actor that is on a full gimbal that flies over top of you.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So this was a functioning school until when, Bud?
So it shut down in the 1950s.
And you guys have been here as the Dent Schoolhouse as a haunted house since when?
So we've had it for 15 years, and the Boy Scouts had it even longer than we did for a haunted house.
The Boy Scouts?
Oh.
Yeah, it was used as a charity haunted house.
So about how many people, before COVID-19, like on a typical Friday night for Dent Schoolhouse, how many people would you have come through?
I mean, we'd see thousands.
Uh-huh.
We see them from all over, not only like Cincinnati and Ohio and Kentucky, but we see them from all over the United States.
So is this the actual tile that was on the wall?
I will
When it
say
was-
that, so this year we did all this brand new.
Looks
so
good.
it's made to look old.
So this
Everything's
is
new.
actually new old tile.
Mhm.
Just
Oh
like
my gosh,
Dave,
wait, we're
made
in
to
a-
look old.
We're interrupting a class here.
Why are they pointing at us?
I don't know. They don't look very happy.
There's a reason they're pointing.
Okay, that one just got me. I'm sorry, that one. So people, this is the actual path people take through the Dent Schoolhouse.
That's correct.
And we want to remind the kids that none of this is real, except for Ashley's pumpkin face, which is adorable.
I'm a nice pumpkin.
Oh my gosh, there's an old overhead projector.
I remember those.
Kids don't understand. Back before computers, your teacher would lay something on here. This under here would magnify it through that and project it onto the wall. An overhead projector. It's overhead. There you go. Who says you can't learn something at a haunted house, Bud?
See, when you walk through here, normally these bookshelves come crashing down on you. So they're all animated.
Oh, that's really cool. And scary.
How do they move?
They're all done by air.
Oh.
There. down?
Where do we go now?
Yeah, now we go down in the basement.
So this is the basement of the Dent Schoolhouse. But wait, it says no students allowed.
Good thing I graduated.
You go right ahead. I'll bring up the rear on this one.
Little spooky. Great. Oh, this is creepy.
I love the special effects of the water. It's funny you turn PVC.
Yeah, we've got actors hidden all throughout the attraction.
So like somebody might be pop out at you or
Correct.
something. Look at this big old pumpkin. It matches me. Pumpkin spice and everything nice. Ugh, it hurt. Oh, this room's creepy.
You don't like spiders.
Oh, I'm tired. I had to kill a 1,000-legger at my house the other day. I should really record when I do that because it's quite comical.
Are these spiders in here?
8-legged freaks.
Oh,
Whoa. Chelsea, you all right?
yep.
You don't have any
The lights scare me.
frogs in here. Chelsea doesn't like frogs.
I'll be out of here.
So, Bud, when this was a schoolhouse, what was this section here?
So down here, there's actually an old coal and ice chute that's hidden behind that wall and that spider there.
Uh-huh.
So they said at one point this used to be the cafeteria in the basement.
Oh, my gosh.
Of course, you get down here and if you don't like big bugs, we've got,
Oh
like,
my gosh,
big
that's a big bug.
cockroaches.
That is big bug. Oh, I saw this next room on the news.
So yeah, this is when you get into the catacombs, and we built every one of these skulls. And we've got over 8 bats that are all hanging them out too. And right over here too is just really cool is when an actor or actress.
Can you turn it on if I lay down on it?
You'd say, we gotta turn on the air, but yeah,
Okay.
like so yeah, you would lay right across here and then that person would levitate like they were kind of like possessed by a ghost.
How long did it take you to make the skulls?
An entire year.
Wow.
There's almost 4,000 skulls.
And every one of them was handmade?
Everyone was handmade here.
Wow.
This thing's
You
pretty
had a
cool.
mold, though, I'm assuming.
Yeah, oh yeah, multiple.
Look at this guy.
So then we've got like big animatronics, like this guy here. And so he'll actually talk and his hands will start to move.
Wow.
And he can actually normally get taller. He's actually kind of like in a crouching position.
There.
Look at
Yeah,
him. He's got a beard
clown
on him.
Here's maybe 2 of the clowns we can actually show you that won't do
Ruin.
too much.
Eyeball.
He's got some nice silky shorts on.
We have our cafeteria.
I don't date in Campbell counties.
Of course, you've still got more of the kitchen. Big old saw blade.
What is this room?
So we wanted to make some kind of like school dance, so we decided to make a ghost ball. So we've got about 8+ couples in here that are all dancing, and of course there's 1 or 2 areas where there's actually a live actor under a sheet. 1 or 2 of them are actually animatronics to where they actually dance.
Oh, fun.
Like right by Chelsea, this one over here, this guy actually dips. So they'll actually sit here and move,
Wow.
and then he does a full dip, and then she goes back.
But the question is, which one under there is an actual person ready to... Whoa.
Jump out at ya.
Now this is my favorite part, is seeing all of the animatronics and the gears and things that it takes to make these things move around. This whole thing is on a couple of pistons and weights, and he's able to move this ghost all over the place just with these little robotic pieces in here, servos and whatnot. Pretty neat stuff. That's not scary. Nothing scary about that.
I found the John.
Oh yeah, every school's got a bathroom.
We're going to the restroom. Do we need a hall pass?
Don't forget to wash your hands.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. You're in here. The heck?
So
Yeah,
this
okay.
toilet over here actually shoots water on our guests when they walk through. So you can see the hose, so it actually explodes.
That toilet's seen better days, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine she moves.
She does. So yeah, she's also on air and a track. So when the school's running, she'll actually come flying overhead.
Oh, goodness.
Whoa, here he is. And through the hole. Yeah, it's like riding a motorcycle. But it's a snaky one. I love it.
So this is kind of the technical room, right, Bud?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I mean, look at all this, very well organized. And Stat, what does he have there?
Well, these are cordless drills turned into horns to scare people with.
Bud, thank you very much for the tour of the Dent Schoolhouse. Now I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions coming in from the kids here in a minute. Are you ready to answer some?
Let's do it.
All right. Boo! All righty. That was fun. I loved it. And it's the easiest way to go through a haunted house and not be scared, I think. And I think it was a lot of fun. Actually, how long did it take before we get to the questions here? How long did it take for you to get that makeup off? There's your mask still.
It probably took like 15 minutes. Bud gave me 2 baby wipes, but I needed a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then my face was kind of red. I kind of looked a little crazy, but as you can see, it's all come off now.
There you go. All righty. Chelsea, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask Bud about anything? Because you were there, but did anything come up that you thought, oh, I should have asked that?
Well, my daughter was just there, actually went through it the other day, and she wants to know who the janitor's name is.
Oh, well, let's ask Bud, the infamous Dent Schoolhouse janitor.
Yes, so our janitor is called Charlie McFree. And there is some truth to Charlie. There was a Charlie that worked back in the day as a janitor there. So he's kind of like our Mickey Mouse of Halloween at the Dent Schoolhouse.
And is there any truth to the rumor that sometimes it's you in the Charlie costume?
It's rare now, but especially in the beginning when Charlie first hit the scene, I might have been dressed up as Charlie here or there.
I love it. Statman, did you have any questions you wanted to ask Bud? And while we're doing this, you guys, if you have any questions, go right ahead and ask them in the chat section.
I was just wondering, you got so many cool like Halloween masks there. Do you make those yourself?
Wow, that's a great question. So we get masks from all over the United States and the world. So like some of the front characters that you might see in our YouTube or out front are all made of a material called silicone. And those come from places like in Hollywood, people that work on movies. Also, our talented costume and makeup team also make a bunch of different like latex masks, which you would find at like Target and Kroger's and whatnot. So it's kind of a mixture. We make a bunch of stuff in-house, and then we also buy a bunch of stuff too.
Okay. Let's see. We've got some questions coming in from classes now. One from it just says iPhone, but how have things changed since COVID-19?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone understands that COVID has changed the world that we live in right now, and it's changed haunted houses too. So this year we wanted to be really safe, but we wanted to make sure people could still experience haunted houses. So things that we've done now are social distancing, which everyone's kind of used to. We've hired a group of social distance patrollers that will go through our queue line when you're waiting to go through the schoolhouse to make sure that your mask's on and that you're waiting in 6-foot distance between group to group. We sell less tickets now to make sure that our crowds are smaller. We've got more hand sanitizing. We've got people that are cleaning throughout the attraction. And another kind of interesting thing is, like, normally at the end of the night, our actors would come back upstairs and give us their costumes. But to make sure that things are clean and working quicker, they actually change in their scene and then leave at the end of the night. So it's definitely changed a lot, but it's still a fun way of celebrating Halloween at a haunted house.
All right. Katie Bailey wants to know, have any guests ever broken anything? I'm sure that's a big fat yes.
Yeah, I mean, things are dark inside and people get scared. So occasionally some of our props and sets will get damaged. But luckily at the end of the night, our security and staff go through every night. We make notes of what needs to be fixed. Like even some of our big animatronics and monsters might shut down. And so the next day we're usually trying to fix them and make sure they're ready for the show.
The BAWAC staff would like to know, do you let real people be ghosts as well? Just not actors. So you may have people who just love to come out and do it.
We do. Obviously with COVID this year, we don't have any guest acting per se, but I mean, most of our actors too come from all over the tri-state, and they're everything from doctors to students to someone that bags your groceries. So our actors and monsters come from all over the tri-state. They could be anybody.
And Ashley, I believe, is her name that says iPhone. Isn't there an outside part as well?
So normally there is an outside haunted house that you get to go through, and that is something that's changed due to COVID this year. Queen City Slaughter Yard, we had to switch to more queue line for social distancing. But if you arrive and the first thing you get to go through at the Dent Schoolhouse is this fall festival. So in there's over 200 plus carved jack-o'-lanterns, there's a full light show, and there's a bunch of neat areas to where you can get a bunch of selfies as well.
Let's see, let me get through a couple of more here. I think somebody wants to know what happened to the school. Why did it close down in the 1950s?
So there's a big legend, and we were talking about Charlie the janitor. So he's kind of like the bad guy in this story. And sadly, it sounds like several of the students disappeared. And so in the 1950s, that's why the schoolhouse shut down. The schoolhouse later became like a machine shop, which is pretty cool. It made a bunch of different things with wooden molds, and then later became one of the previous owners' homes. And then the Boy Scouts took it over as a charity haunted house. And then 15 years ago, we took it over and made it the Dent Schoolhouse.
Lillian would like to know, how many animatronics do you have?
I mean, we have a lot. So not only do we have a lot of live actors, we have a lot of animations. I mean, well, probably hundreds. We've even got in storage a bunch of other animations that we're not using right now that we can bring in at different years. So we have everything from 16-foot tall monsters to skeletons that talk to just even a lady that like crab crawls backwards on a wall. So we have quite the variety.
I believe you answered this, but we could say it again. Christopher Butcher would like to know how old the Dent Schoolhouse is. It was built in the 1800s, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1894 it opened up, and then about 1950s, mid-50s is when it shut down as a schoolhouse.
Okay, and well, okay, we'll wrap it up here, but we'll put Bud on the spot here and say, you've been in that place at night. Well, somebody wanted to know how noisy it is. So when you're going through, it's very noisy, obviously.
Yeah, if you're going through as a haunted house, it is. There's sounds everywhere. There's sound effects coming from the animations, and of course you have the monsters too. So from the haunted house standpoint, it can get pretty loud. And
it's not as scary as it is when you're in there by yourself, which you find yourself a lot. And Bud, do you want to admit to the classes some of the things that you've seen?
Yeah, the big question always is it actually haunted? And I would have to say yes. I'm not a big fan of having to be there alone. There are a couple ghost sightings that seem to be occurring, like the shadow lady upstairs. There's ghost footsteps on the first floor. And there's always a bunch of different noises and things that we also catch on our camera. So if it's not our actors, it could also be a real ghost.
Yeah. But I mean, doors slamming and things of that nature, but it adds to the mystique of the Dent Schoolhouse. Well, Bud Strauss, thank you. Wait, Miss Pence wants to know, is it the same 8 workers every night, or are there different workers each night? I think people filter in and out, don't they?
Yeah, we've got a good returning crew that comes every night just about, but then we have a larger cast that help fill in on like Thursdays and Sundays. So it's kind of a revolving cast with a core as well.
And Christopher wants to know how long it takes to get things ready, which I think probably year-round. I know you. We've known you for years, so you're usually, if you're not at the station working, you're there working.
Yeah, it's a haunted house, believe it or not, is a year-round business. So right when we shut down this year, which will be in November, we're constantly making the attraction better for next year as well. So who knew that it could be a year-round business and a career too?
Absolutely. Well, Bud, thank you for taking us on a tour of the Dent Schoolhouse. And you guys are open. If you want to say that right now, what are your hours? And you probably prefer people to make reservations online if they can.
Yeah, if you want to come during like a normal spooky show, we're open Thursdays through Sunday in October. This Sunday, actually, though, if you're like, that looked a little too spooky, you can come for our Lights On show, which is from 4 to 6. So we actually turn on the lights, we get all the monsters out of the house, and then you can also trick or treat through the Dent Schoolhouse. So that's this Sunday, 4 to 6. And then we are opening up for our Christmas show, too, for one weekend where you can meet the Grinch and Krampus and kind of have a mixture of like Halloween and Christmas all in one.
I love it. Well, Bud, thank you very much for taking us out there. This was a lot of fun, and I know very enlightening for everybody, and we're glad it was enlightening, as in the lights were on for us when we went through. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you all for coming around today. And we're going to be doing a couple more of these Big Dave Show virtual field trips. Don't forget, all of them can be seen over on our B105 YouTube Cincinnati. It's B105 Cincinnati on YouTube. All the past ones are there. And we want to thank, again, Logan AC and Heating Services and Papa John Cincinnati for helping us out. So we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for coming along on our Big Dave Show virtual field trip. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Everybody turn your mics on and say bye or boo.
Boo!
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Boo.